In this video, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown of the new Zhiyun Weebill S gimbal, and I'm going to show you some test footage and show you how it fits in with all the rest of the gimbals that are out there. Full disclosure, I did receive this gimbal for free, so I'm not going to tell you to buy something that I didn't buy, but I'm going to hopefully inform you so you can make a decision for yourself. A lot of the times when I review a gimbal, they usually feel like a cheaper alternative to the Ronin S, but the Zhiyun Weebill S doesn't really feel like that to me. It feels like a completely different gimbal, and it feels like a gimbal that I can use on a daily basis without having to pick up my Ronin S. For one thing, the form factor alone makes it stand out from the rest of the gimbals, and it's still priced at a very affordable price compared to the rest of the gimbals. Now, the original Weebill lab started this form factor, and since then they've given the Weebill S upgraded motors, more torque, more power, and it has new algorithms to control the motion of the gimbal. So now you can carry full camera setups like full frame mirrorless and DSLR cameras with big heavy lenses that those cameras often have without having to worry about overloading the gimbal. So even though this gimbal is small and pretty affordable, it is not watered down at all, and it gives a unique experience that you can't find in other gimbals. Some of the features of this gimbal include using your phone as a wireless monitor with the image transmitter that you can attach to the gimbal, and you can also use your phone to track objects. Now, I know some of the newer gimbals also let you track objects with your phone, but you have to mount the phone on top of the gimbal, and you don't have to do that with this gimbal. You can just use the image transmitting from the gimbal to your cell phone, and it'll automatically track objects without you having to try to balance your phone on top of the gimbal, which can get really awkward and make some of the cameras hard to balance. You can also use your phone as a motion tracker, so you can move your phone around and it will use accelerometers in your phone to control the motion of the gimbal. Now, like I always say with other gimbal reviews, is I can pretty much get smooth shots with just about any gimbal out there on the market. The main thing for me is the features that the gimbal has and the ease of use. If I can't use the gimbal easily and efficiently, then it doesn't really matter how smooth the footage is, because I can get smooth footage with any other gimbal. The first thing you have to do when dealing with the gimbal is, of course, balancing the camera. And since this gimbal does have locks on all three axes, you don't have to worry about it flopping around on you when you're trying to balance a particular axis. Like I said in the Moza Air 2 review, once you have a gimbal with features like being able to lock the axis when you're balancing the gimbal, it really frustrates you when you use a gimbal that doesn't have this feature. So this is one of those must-haves for me for gimbals from now on. Another one of those features is the double quick release plate for the gimbal, and this gimbal also has that. So you can remove the camera with the double quick release plate and not have to worry about messing up balance. So if I need to go snap a picture or shoot handheld for a moment, I can just unsnap the camera from the gimbal, do what I have to do, and then plop it back on, and I don't have to worry about trying to balance the camera all over again. Now, thanks to the unique shape of the Weebill S, this has to be the easiest gimbal to transition from holding it normal to going to underslung mode, because all you have to do is mount the handle on top and you rotate the gimbal and you're in underslung mode, and it doesn't do anything weird or crazy like some gimbals do, and you can go back and forth very easily between the two and stay comfortable the whole time. Now, the very first time that I tried that, I pretty much hit all the buttons that are on the handle, and thankfully there's a lock button, so you can just double tap the LV button and you don't have to worry about pressing any of the buttons when you're holding it on the small handle at the bottom. As far as the button layout, it makes it very easy to go between all the different modes. Everything is pretty much labeled on the gimbal's handle, and I'm not going to go into detail on all the modes. It's pretty much all the modes we already know and used to with gimbals, and that's nothing new there, but I'm glad to see that they have it nicely laid out for us to transition between the modes, because some gimbals have you going through a lot of menus, and sometimes it can be tricky trying to get into the right mode quickly and efficiently when you're on the shoot. If you haven't seen my video on why your gimbal footage isn't smooth, then you should check that out, because shooting in the wrong mode was one of the biggest things that can cause your gimbal footage to not be smooth. Now, I will point out that the POV mode for this gimbal is very nice, and given the design of the gimbal, it allows you to get glide cam style shots very easily and smoothly, because it allows movement on all the axes, and being able to hold the gimbal with the handle on top makes it very easy to do that. So it's a very big plus for this gimbal, even when you compare it to other gimbals that allow you to do POV shots. So all in all, I will say that the Weebill S is a very capable gimbal, very small, very user-friendly, and it won't break the bank. So you can't really beat that combination. Now, everything I just said won't matter if the footage doesn't look good. So let's check out some of the footage that I shot using the Weebill S. Now you've seen the footage, so I'm going to leave that up to you to make your own decisions on how that looked. But I can say that I enjoy using the gimbal, and like I said, the form factor really stands out to me about this gimbal compared to anything else out there. So let's move on to the negatives, and I really don't have many. I'm really nitpicking when I talk about these things, but I do wish that it came with two handles, because since you can put it on the bottom and the top, when I have it on top, I don't have anything to put the gimbal down on. So I have to unscrew the handle, mount it on the bottom, and then when I want to pick it up again, I have to unscrew it again and put it on the top. Now this can be solved because they have a quick release plate that you can use for the handle. You just unsnap it and snap it to the bottom, which makes it very simple. So I'm probably going to go that route instead of buying two handles, because two handles will make the gimbal bigger, and my only problem is the transition between the two, and the quick release plate will solve that for me. If you're one of those people who carry the gimbal in the carrying case, then you'll probably be very disappointed with this carrying case for this gimbal, because it's the same styrofoam material that pretty much every other gimbal comes in, except that it's not really a case, it's more of a crate, and if you drop the case, it's gonna pretty much fall apart on you. So it's not a big deal for me, because honestly I never put a gimbal back in this case. But if you're one of those people who like to carry the gimbal around in the case that it comes in, you'll probably be very disappointed with this case. And another thing is that it looks like a normal case. It just doesn't have hinges on it, and it has holes in it for some reason. So it seems like they could have easily made a normal case for this gimbal, so I don't know why they chose to go the route that they did. Other than those two things, I can't really think of a real issue with this gimbal. When you think about the price that it costs and the features that it has, it doesn't really leave much room for you to complain about. The gimbal is affordable, it's small and easy to use, it's easy to get smooth shots with this gimbal, it has tons of features, the build quality is nice. It's not really anything I can really complain about, because everything works, and Zhiyun has been doing this for a while, so I expect everything to work from a company like that. Now, given the price point, I'm pretty sure everyone is going to compare this gimbal to the Ronin SC. Now, I can tell you right now that unless it's something very specific about the Ronin SC that you like, the Weebill S is pretty much going to be the better overall gimbal. The Ronin SC is basically a watered down version of the Ronin S, which is not really a bad thing, because no, not everyone needs what the Ronin S can do. But the problem is this gimbal is pretty much the same price as the Ronin SC. So why would I get a watered down version of a gimbal when I can get a complete gimbal for the same price? So I'm not throwing any cold water on the Ronin SC, because it's not a bad gimbal at all. It's just the fact that these gimbals cost about the same amount, and I can get a lot more with the Weebill S, and that's the route I would honestly take. But like I tell you guys all the time, don't just go off of what I'm telling you. Make sure you make decisions based on what you need. I'm not here to influence you, I'm only here to inform you. So if you know your needs fits with something that's opposite of what I'm telling you, then go that route. If this video was helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment if you have any questions. I'm going to leave all links down below to anything that I talked about in this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.